CBeebies Bedtime Story.
Hiya, my name's James. Are you cosy and ready for a bedtime story? Good. I think you may already know tonight's story. It's about a little girl, her granny, and a big bad wolf. Does that sound familiar? Should we find out what happens to her? This story is called Little Red Riding Hood, and it's by Alison J. Once upon a time, if you wanted a cream cake or an iced bun, you would visit the lovely tea shop in Fairy Tale Village. Mrs. Hood, the owner, had made her daughter a bright red cape, which suited the girl so much that everyone in the village called her Little Red Riding Hood. One day, Little Red Riding Hood was on her way to visit her sick grandmother in the cottage in the woods. Don't dawdle, her mother told her as she set off, and do not talk to any strangers, especially not the big bad wolf. He loves to eat up little girls just like you. Little Red Riding Hood had walked deep into the heart of the dark forest when suddenly the big bad wolf appeared. "Where are you going, little girl?" he said, licking his lips. Little Red Riding Hood was scared. She thought she'd better tell the wolf the truth in case he got angry, so she did. I'm taking these cakes to my poor ill grandmother," she said. "What a sweet little girl you are," said the wolf. "I'm sure your grandmother would like some of these beautiful flowers too. Why don't you stay here with me and pick some?" Little Red Riding Hood agreed that this was a lovely idea. What a kind wolf, she thought, bending to pick up a daisy. I'm sure everyone in Fairy Tale Village is wrong about him. But when she looked up, the wolf had gone. The big bad wolf really was as bad and greedy as people said, and he had a plan to gobble Little Red Riding Hood up. So while Little Red Riding Hood was picking flowers, he made his way to her grandmother's cottage and locked up the poor old lady in her wardrobe. Then he put on her dressing gown, nightcap and glasses and got into her bed. "I can't wait for that sweet and juicy Little Red Riding Hood to arrive," he thought. A little while later, Little Red Riding Hood came to the cottage door and saw that it was wide open. "Is that you, my dear?" called a deep, growly voice from inside. "Come closer so I can see you." So Little Red Riding Hood went closer and was surprised to see her grandmother looking quite unlike her normal self. Are you feeling a little bit stronger today, Grandma?" she asked, inching closer to the bed. "Why, yes, dear," replied the wolf, smiling dangerously. "In fact, I feel very strong indeed." "Oh, Grandma," said Little Red Riding Hood, "what big ears you have." "All the better to hear you with, my dear," said the wolf. "And, Grandma, what big eyes you have." "All the better to see you with, my dear." "But, Grandma," said Little Red Riding Hood, "what big teeth you have." "All the better to eat you with, my dear," roared the wolf, leaping out of bed and snapping at Red Riding Hood's little red cape. Luckily, at that very moment, a brave woodcutter happened to be passing by the cottage. He heard the wolf's wicked words and came to Red Riding Hood's rescue in the nick of time. He soon had the big bad wolf safely tied up outside, and Little Red Riding Hood was overjoyed to discover her grandmother alive and well in the wardrobe. Little Red Riding Hood's mother baked the woodcutter his favourite cake as a special thank you for his help. Everyone in the village was delighted that the big bad wolf had been captured, apart from the wolf himself, of course. He was taken to a special school for naughty fairy tale creatures, where he was taught that eating little girls is not very nice, no matter how sweet and juicy they are. From then on, Little Red Riding Hood loved visiting her grandmother even more because she could play in the forest as much as she liked. That story was Little Red Riding Hood. I hope you enjoyed it. Little Red Riding Hood had a lucky escape, didn't she? I'll see you again very soon for another bedtime story. But now, sweet dreams, and don't worry about big bad wolves. They only belong in fairy tales. Night night.